Are you ready to do something usually not done? Today I'm going to show you the mixing of Python within mixing of JavaScript within the Python function so that the result will be web app this rendering in the browser. So here we write function in Python, we include HTML template, and we get interaction such as adding item to the list by JavaScript function. So let's get going for that. Let's see how we do it. As usual, we start with creating a project file. Here I have named it to do that app. Create a virtual environment and then as a server file. Server file could be named main.py. Here I have named it main.py. This is the file where we will write the code that will be rendered in the browser. Okay, so let's begin. Import os.browser, web browser, and write a function def my to do, just a function name, and then to do equals create an empty list, and then write a function to incorporate the template as well as add item functionality. So that begins with def generate HTML, there is a typo here, generate not date, generate HTML. Okay, so how do we start? We start with HTML equals f string. You know, these multi-line incorporation needs this. That's why we're going to do this triple quotes. So I'm going to begin with HTML, not writing doc type. And within that HTML, I'm going to put head tag, HTML head tag. Let me get it down here. Yeah. Within that head tag, I'm going to put title. In that title, I'm going to say to do app. Okay, close title, close head tag. Now what comes after head is body tag. Okay, so within the body tag, we have h1 tag for the title. Here the title is my task list. Close the h1, and then what comes? ul, where we will be listing the items. Okay, ul. So to listing the item as a string, of all the list item to make it a string, we have this function in that is here, that join function. Okay, this is a familiar function with f string. We're going to embed li here, and within the li we are going to do task variable and close. Okay, to display that we need list comparison or task in to do that variable to do or task in to do. Okay, that's it. Now let's close the UL. All right, so once we have done that, how we secure the user inputs? Via form. So let's create a form on submit equals add task. We want to add the task. Okay, add task colon. In JavaScript we write event that prevent defaults. The equivalent in Python is return false. False. Okay, now close that. Close the form tag. Within the form we're going to have the input tag where users will input the item they want to enlist in the my task list. Input type is going to be text. ID is going to be task. Placeholder is going to ask please enter a to do, and that we're going to make it required. Okay, input here. Now to input that we need a button, right? Button type is going to be submit, and the caption is add task. Okay, let's close the button tag. All right, so we have that. Now to show the to write the function that we have here, add task, to write it and seek its functionality, we need to embed JavaScript function in there. For that, we start with script tag. Okay, within the script tag, we will define JavaScript function. JavaScript function doesn't have def word, but function. Function add task. That function is this one, add task, and parentheses, and JavaScript you need to have this curly's. So we have double curly's because two things will be there. So with that, we're going to create a task. Const task equals document dot get element. These are the DOM manipulation methods. ELEMENT by ID. What is the ID? Task. So what is that going to be? Value. We need to get the value. Okay. After that, if we have a task there, we're going to if we have a task already there, if task is to be put in there, we need const ul equals document that query selector ul. We're going to create the ul. We will need ul and const li. We need to create li that query create element. We need to create it element li. Okay, we need to create the element, and now how what we're going to show? We're going to show the text, right? Therefore, li dot text content equals task. So let's append that li in the ul dot append child. This is a method for appending item at the end. Append child. What we append? Li. Okay, so this will get let the user type the inputs and append that in the list. Now, to empty the input field, we need to clear the input field. For that, document dot get element by id. What is the id? Task. Okay, that value needs to be emptied. Okay, so that is the function that will allow us to add the task, to append the task at the end of the list. All right, so we need to close the script. Tag script closed. We also need to close the body, and we also need to close the HTML because there will be no more HTML tag. And then all we need after this is return HTML. Okay. All right. So that is the encapsulation of the function. Now all we need to do is visible for people with open file path. So what file path is going to be? That is the file path. And what is that going to be? Write mode. We're going to write. And then I'm going to add encoding, because if you want to include some special characters, including emojis, that becomes useful. UTF-8. Okay, with open as that, as file. Okay, open that as file. Write file dot write. File dot write. What are we going to write? We're going to write the function. What is in the argument? Generate HTML. Okay, we're going to write that function. Now we need just open with web browser. Web browser that open. So what is the URL here? URL is, let me write that within the F string. URL is file file path. File and file path. That is the URL, right? And all that is done. All we need now is run the web. How we do that? We run the web by this function. If underscore underscore name underscore underscore equals underscore underscore main underscore underscore. Okay, this by doing this file, only this file will run. Here I am going to call my to do. Okay, that is all. So now that if underscore underscore name underscore underscore equals comma underscore underscore main underscore underscore and my to do function called, we should be able to see the browser display, browser open, where we will have an input field and a button to list the items. Okay, let's see it. Run main. All right, to see that it opened, here is the my task list. Okay, let's include some task. Make pizza for dinner. Add, there you see it. Let's include another, walk the dogs. Add task, there you see it. Let's do another one, read documentation. Let's type it, read documentation. Add task button, here that one. So let's add one more, take out the trash, one more. See, another one, add, make a new app. So this is how you can make this app without any framework, no Django, no Flask, nothing, but just within the Python function embedding JavaScript function. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you today. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more Python functions and more exploration of Python. Remember, this channel is here to teach people how to learn Python functionalities, Python function, making apps, running the functions, getting to know how Python has different inbuilt functions, all kind of stuff. So please subscribe to my channel, follow the channel, write a comment if there is something not clear, and subscribe my channel. Thank you for listening in. Stay tuned for more Python programming. Thank you.